Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm really excited to do. It's going to be my Shop My Stash Get Ready With Me for October. So the first Friday of every month I do a Try to Get Ready With Me featuring my Shop My Stash bag. So yesterday's video was my recap for September and all of my reviews, and I also shared what I pulled into my Shop My Stash bag that I'm going to be focusing on this month. Usually my Shop My Stash bag is a lot of older products, and today I'm going to be showing you how I got to this very fall look. And I also have a discussion about YouTube, kind of what I'm feeling about YouTube right now and maybe the future of YouTube. And I'm also really excited to talk about the next project that I am launching. It was a little bit unexpected that I put it in at the end of the video, but I felt like it made sense to include. So I've been dropping a few hints about what I am launching soon, and I actually go into more detail about it at the end of the video, and I also explain why it's going to have me cutting back a little bit on YouTube. So we definitely have a lot to chat about today, and if that sounds interesting, why don't we go ahead and get started. Hello. Alrighty then, here we are, ready to go. Okay, so like I said, using all of the products that I chose out in my October Shop My Stash. So I'll have that video linked, like I said, and I'll link all the products too, because I might not touch on everything that I'm using, but everything was shown in yesterday's video, and I'll always have it linked in my description box. But starting off with the Ofra Northern Lights Primer. So for today's Get Ready With Me, I kind of wanted to do almost like a part 2 of Who Has the Power video that went up a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about kind of just what it's like being a YouTube creator right now, some of the struggles that we can go through, but I was also trying to just give viewers a little bit of a reminder of like truly how powerful they are, how much their views really matter. And of course I always worry, I'm just that person that I always worry when I put out videos like that of like who I'm offending, like who will take something I said the wrong way, who will, like I always worry about it. So I was watching the comments, and I mean 99% of them were very positive and very supportive, and I learned from the comments some things. I was trying to give some insights too of the whole like how YouTube looks at videos in the 24 to 48 hours that they've been published. So if you can, if you want to support some of your favorites there, it's a good time to watch those videos versus like if there's videos that you like to watch but maybe you don't necessarily support them, like maybe in those first 2 days watch a different video, that sort of thing. And I know, definitely not even I can't watch every single creator that I love. I can't watch their video within 48 hours. I mean, I do have a life, I do have a career, I watch a lot of people on YouTube, but it was just I wanted to offer some insight that maybe you might not know if you don't see like the back end of YouTube and get the tips and the newsletters from YouTube and all of that. So I just wanted to share a little bit there. And so like I said, a lot of really great positive feedback. I was very excited about that. It was so interesting to see all of the different creators comment. I think that video, out of all of the videos I've posted on YouTube, has the most amount of creator feedback versus like viewer/creator. A lot of creator feedback, which I thought was very interesting. That video spurred a lot of like behind the scene DMs with creators as well, and just me talking with them and to them, and just learning a little bit more about them and their feelings right now. So it's been really interesting. One thing that I wanted to touch on in that video, but that video was already long enough. My videos are typically very long, especially if I'm sitting down chatting. But one thing that I wanted to touch on was also like YouTube's role in this, because also YouTube has a huge say on what videos are getting shown, like all of that, right? So I wanted to include that in there, but I was like, that's really opening up a whole other door. Like that would just take us into a whole other section, right? And I was like, well, maybe I'll touch on it, like maybe I'll come back to it. But really my important thing was like I was trying to give the viewers the power back and all of that. There were a few comments in there of people saying, yes, I agree with you, or this is good to know, or whatever it may be, but people also saying so many videos don't show up in my subscription feed. I have the bell turned on and I don't get notified. And I was like, once I saw that, I was like, okay, I am gonna make the video where I talk about YouTube as well. But then also I went to Florida a couple weeks ago, and I had a kind of like situation happen there that I thought was a little bit interesting and could play a part in this video too. So I'm a little bit nervous to make this video because I'm sure YouTube isn't gonna like it. I'm sure it's gonna be demonetized and all of that and everything, but I thought that it would make for an interesting subject, and especially since talking to so many creators since posting that last video, I just feel, I don't know, I just feel a lot of different ways right now. But okay, so I have, as always, I make notes for my videos to try to help keep me on track, because otherwise I can get off on a whole bunch of tangents and all of that. So if you are a creator, I'm sure you've heard of some of these things, but even if you're a viewer and you follow, you know, especially creators on other platforms too, like Twitter and Instagram stories, you've probably heard about demonetization. You've maybe heard about the adpocalypse of a couple years ago, and maybe as a viewer you might have noticed other things too, like being unsubscribed from channels. It's now to the point where I'm getting a message almost every single day of someone telling me that they haven't been watching my videos for a while and they went to YouTube and they saw that they've been unsubscribed from my channel, but they swear to me they did not unsubscribe. They don't know what happened. I mean, I have a whole folder in my phone of screenshotted comments like this, and like I've sent them into YouTube and be like, can you help me? I don't know what's going on. And they're like, it's not us. It's probably, like, literally I've been told that it's the subscriber doing it and not realizing it. Like, I've had that happen to me. I get a lot of those comments. Every once in a while, like every few months or so, this will happen to me for several weeks straight. Every time I upload a new YouTube video, I immediately lose around 50 to 100 subscribers in like 5 minutes. Like, and I mean, that's just kind of a weird thing. And I remember one time just starting to get a little bit frustrated by it, because I was like, you know, if obviously, like, if people are unsubscribing from my channel because they don't like my content anymore or whatever it may be, like, fine, but I have to think that this is some sort of like bug or something going on, because it's every single time that I upload, within those first 5 minutes I'm losing subscribers, and I don't get it. And again, you know, I said something to YouTube and they're like, well, it's, you know, probably just people unsubscribing. And I'm like, all right, okay. But then it's at the same time I'm getting all those messages of people saying I'm not unsubscribing, but I'm being unsubscribed. So it's like kind of one of those confusing things. And I talked to some other creators about it and they're like, you know, yeah, it's made me want to cut back on my upload schedule, because it just seems so, like, it just seems so crazy to be so excited to upload a video to immediately lose. It's like something's triggering the system, like, oh, you've uploaded another video, like, we're gonna take away a handful of your subscribers. And of course, as I'm going throughout this video, subscribers, honestly, views are what I look at more than subscriber count. I mean, views I think are more important than your actual subscriber count, but it's just what today's topic is focused on, and it is something that is a little bit frustrating. But also, when I get comments of people saying I've been unsubscribed from your channel and I don't know what happened, it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I've done something wrong and I want to fix it, but I don't know how. It makes me feel like I have some sort of responsibility, even though I can't do anything about it. So between like the losing subscriber things, getting so many messages of people telling me that they've been unsubscribed, they don't know what to do. I mean, so many times I get a video, or I get a comment of people saying, you know, you have the bell turned on for my notifications, but you don't get any notifications. And it's frustrating. Like, that frustrates me too, definitely. It's a little bit confusing. And like I mentioned in that Who Has the Power video, I do think that it's a very confusing time for creators right now. I've heard smaller creators touch on it and say, you know, how they're frustrated about certain things, and I've seen bigger YouTubers with hundreds and thousands and even millions of subscribers say that they're noticing something funky going on too, which is a bummer. So that's something that I've been dealing with for a while. Just a couple weeks ago, I was in that phase of like every time I uploaded, I would lose. Again, it's like it comes and goes in waves. It's like every month, every couple months, all of a sudden it'll happen to me for like 2 or 3 weeks straight, and it's just consistent. After 5 minutes of uploading, I don't, like, it just, and then it'll be fine again for a while, and then it'll happen again. So I don't know what that's about. But like I said, recently I went to Florida. I was actually down visiting with Ofra Cosmetics. It was very exciting for me. Really enjoyed that. But in my hotel room, the TV had connect your YouTube to the TV, like Netflix. Like you have more options than just like your standard cable or whatnot. And so I was quite busy down there. I really was only in my hotel room to sleep. Otherwise, Ofra had so many fun things planned, you know, touring their factory, and we went to a baseball game, just like really, really fun things. And last night I was actually back in my hotel a little bit earlier, and I was, you know, packing up and all of that. And I was like, oh, it would be fun to connect YouTube TV and just like have a YouTube video to watch while I'm packing and laying in bed and just chilling. Because I mean, I had gone at this point like 3 days without watching any YouTube videos, which is crazy for me. Like I watch YouTube all day, every day. I love watching YouTube videos, right? So I'm like, I miss YouTube. I want to catch up with people. I want to see what's going on. And I can watch it from the hotel TV. Like, how great is that? So I pull up the YouTube on the TV, and, you know, of course it says, you know, I can sign in and everything. And I was like, I'm just that weird person that I just don't like to sign in on like anything public. I'm always afraid I'll like forget to log out, or I'll have my email open. I don't know, I'm just weird. So I'm like, oh, I don't really want to sign in. So I just did the like continue as a guest. And then it kind of just showed me the regular YouTube homepage, and I toggled to, they had different topics up that you could watch, and I just toggled down until I found the beauty topic. And I was like, yeah, like, let's see, you know, what's YouTube gonna recommend to me? And at this point, I thought it was really interesting, and I wish I would have either like recorded it on my phone, even just to be able to remember. But it was really interesting to see, not signed in, not having watched anything on YouTube, what YouTube was recommending to me as just a random viewer. I think some of the first few videos that were recommended, and I kind of went back to getting some of those comments in the first Who Has the Power video of people saying, you know, YouTube seems to not show some videos, not show every video of people I'm subscribed to, like what's YouTube's role in all of this? So it was interesting to see the first lineup of videos, because the first 3 videos, like, I mean, 1, 2, 3 that popped up were all Jeffree Star videos. Now, obviously, Jeffree Star has a huge following on YouTube and beyond. I don't know at this time how many subscribers he has, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And he's just very, like, public. So I wasn't surprised to see, I was a little bit surprised to see 1, 2, 3, but I was like, okay, like, I get it. And I scrolled through about 15 or so videos, probably between 15 and 20, because after I got through the first video, I was like, this is just interesting to me now. Like, I want to see what YouTube is recommending based on having zero knowledge of what it is that I like, right? I'm not signed in, they have nothing to go off of. And so I start scrolling through the rest of them, and from what I can remember, and I like, because I wrote it down because I was like, this is just interesting. I was gonna put a tweet out about it, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it in the video because I think that it's interesting. So 1, 2, 3 were all Jeffree Star. He did also appear later in those first 15 to 20 videos as well. There was 2 videos that I remember from James Charles. There was 2 videos from Jaclyn Hill, which I thought was pretty interesting, because Jaclyn Hill, and this isn't to sound like shady or like anything like that, but this is just a fact that she doesn't post a lot of YouTube videos anymore. From what I understand, I mean, I think Jeffree Star posts pretty consistently. I personally don't follow his channel, but from what I hear and what I can see, I think that he's a fairly consistent uploader on YouTube. So again, like, doesn't shock me to see him there. I'm not sure about James Charles. I thought I heard that he was taking a break from YouTube, but he might have come back. I'm really not sure. But I think prior to his break and stuff that was happening, I think he also uploaded pretty consistently. So again, and he's been very public, so not super surprised to see that. But I was surprised to see 2 Jaclyn Hill videos. I was like, okay, all right. Like, you know, obviously she still has millions of subscribers and all of that. I think her videos still probably get a lot of views when she uploads them. She has been very public lately with everything that happened. So I guess maybe it shouldn't be too surprising, but especially to see 2 videos pop up, I was like, okay. So we had Jeffree Star, James Charles, Jaclyn Hill. There was one from Tati on there. I wasn't super surprised to see Tati pop up. One from Nikki Tutorials that I remembered seeing. Again, I wasn't surprised. She has a lot of subscribers and she gets a lot of views on her videos. There was one from Desi Perkins. kind of surprised me a little bit. She does still have millions of subscribers, and she does post a lot of tutorials on her channel, so that was one that I was kind of like surprised but a little bit happy to see at the same time, because I do follow Desi. So I saw Desi Perkins in there. There were a few from people I didn't know, like tutorial style videos and such. I don't know everybody who creates YouTube videos. I don't watch everybody, but there was a couple names in there that I was like, huh, not sure of this person, not sure of that person. And then I was really excited to see Jessica Braun. I think Jessica Braun was the only, minus the ones that I wasn't sure who they were, she was one of the only ones with less than 1 million subscribers. I guess I'm not exactly sure how many Tati has at this time, because I know her subscriber counts were kind of moving around, but she was also very public for a while, whereas Jessica Braun is a little bit more chill. But I was so excited. Like, honestly, I kind of like wanted to take a picture and send it to her, and I was like, is that really creepy? That might be taking it a little bit too far. It was just funny to see out of all of that, it was Jessica Braun. I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's weird how excited I felt in that moment to see to see that, but I really was. And then the rest in there were from celebrities. Like, there was a Kylie Jenner video that was up. There was one was from Kylie Jenner's page. The other one was from like Vogue or something like that, and it had Kylie and Chloe in the thumbnail of it, but it wasn't Kylie's channel. It was a different channel, but I just can't remember exactly what it was. And then there was a video from Shay Mitchell, she's also a celebrity. She's an actress. And what confused me about that video was that from the thumbnail, it didn't even look like a makeup video. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, that seems kind of weird to put in the makeup category. But it was just really interesting for me to see this and to see what YouTube is recommending. But obviously, I feel like it makes sense that YouTube is going to recommend people that have a lot of subscribers or a lot of viewers or are very public, or you might be familiar, even if you don't watch YouTube a lot, you might be familiar with these names outside of YouTube, to have celebrities on there. But at the same time, it was almost a little bit disheartening too. And again, going back to the comments I was getting on the Who Has the Power video of, how much play does YouTube have on this too? And it just really got me thinking of, if you can still be successful in like the growth area on YouTube, if you don't already have those millions of subscribers, or if you're not a celebrity. So in the midst of me thinking, all of these different thoughts about YouTube and how everything's working, how the algorithm works, how do videos get suggested, who shows up on the trending page and the home page and all of that, then I start seeing tweets from a bunch of creators online saying that YouTube has changed their policies to get the verification badge, and they're about to take away the verification badge. And so many people were very upset about this. So if you aren't familiar, the verification badge is like a little check mark that appears next to names, and this happens on Twitter, it happens on YouTube, it happens on Instagram. And basically what that check mark is signifying is that that account has been verified, that they are that person. It can kind of help with impersonator accounts. Definitely for me, I look for the check mark if I'm going to tag someone and I'm like, ooh, is that really their account? Because sometimes there's fan accounts, there's parody accounts, and sometimes it can be hard to know which one is the real account, and so having that check mark helps there. It can also kind of help give a little bit more of like, maybe like reputation to that person, like, they've been verified in the system and all of that. And so when YouTube said that they were going to take that away from certain creators, there was a lot of people talking about this on Twitter. And YouTube before, it would be once you hit 100,000 subscribers, I believe is what it was, you could apply to go through the verification process to get that check mark. What was interesting was how YouTube was wording why they were making this change. There was a bunch of people on Twitter sharing the email that they got if their badge was going to be taken away. Jen Loves Reviews did post this on her Twitter, and I'm going to read the email. I will link her in my description box. But Basically, the email said, we're writing to let you know we're updating eligibility criteria for channel verification on YouTube. Unfortunately, with these changes, your channel no longer meets the criteria to be verified. They said, we realize this might be disappointing, but we believe these updates will make a channel verification more consistent for users and creators across YouTube. It says YouTube will now proactively verify channels instead of accepting requests for verification badges. We aim to verify channels that represent a well-known or highly searched creator, artist, public figure, or company with a clear need to differentiate themselves from other channels with a similar name. Channels are typically verified if they have built a large audience and community on YouTube, are widely recognized outside of YouTube and have a strong presence online, or have a channel name that could be confused with other channels on YouTube. And that got me thinking a lot too, because like I said, was seeing the channels that were recommended to me as a regular old viewer not signed in, you know, I was thinking, okay, some of these channels do make sense because they have such a large audience, because maybe their names are known outside of YouTube, and not always known outside of YouTube for good things. Just gonna say that too. So have built a large audience and community on YouTube, widely recognized outside of YouTube, and have a strong presence online. So I do want to say that YouTube did actually change it a little bit. Instead of taking away from people who had already gotten their verification badge, they are letting them keep it, but going forward it's going to be more challenging to get the verification badge on your YouTube channel. So I'm at least glad they're letting people who did earn it keep it, because that's another thing that YouTube tends to do. They have certain guidelines in place. Once you meet them, you get something, but then if YouTube decides to change them, they take away, which I don't think is super fair. Just thinking of it just appears that YouTube is making it harder and harder and harder for the kind of regular creators these days to not only grow a channel, because again, it's not all about getting a bunch of subscribers and all of that, but even being able to keep the people who have been watching them, who have subscribed, even those that are going out of their way to hit the bell and have their notifications turned on, yet they're not getting them, they're being unsubscribed, their videos aren't being shown in their subscription page and all of that. It just seems like it's making it so much harder for the regular peeps on YouTube who are just enjoying making videos, and it makes me feel very sad. And just like how I mentioned in my Who Has the Power video, like, what is the future of beauty YouTube videos? But also too, like, I'm just kind of curious, what's the future for YouTube in general? Because to me, YouTube is kind of getting to a place where it feels to me like YouTube is kind of catering to those people that are already very successful on YouTube, or to celebrities, and I think that's kind of a bummer. And like I said, one thing that kind of frustrates me about YouTube, and has for a while, is that you can earn something as a creator based on guidelines that YouTube had in place at the time, but then if they change them, they will take them away from you. For me personally, I've had that experience because YouTube used to have, at 50,000 subscribers, you could apply to get a YouTube manager. I've mentioned this in a few videos, so I'll try to go through it quickly, but you could apply to get a YouTube manager, someone who would help you like analyze your account and you know, be able to give you suggestions of how to improve your channel, help you go through your reports and really understand the analytics side and all of that. And my gal was super helpful to me. She would answer questions, we would have phone calls. She was the one who said I should turn my Will I Buy It into a weekly series. Like, she helped me out so much. And then all of a sudden one day, she was gone. And she wouldn't respond to my emails. We had phone calls set up in the calendar. She wasn't calling me. I was like, what is going on? Turns out YouTube updated their guidelines for being able to get a YouTube manager, and I no longer fell into them, so they took mine away. I didn't even have any warning. I didn't get an email like the verification badge. I didn't get an email. I didn't get her saying, hey, this is actually going to be our last, you know, correspondence together, but good luck. She was just gone. And I was like, what? And so I finally figured out that, you know, that had been updated, so that was what happened. And I definitely was very upset about it because I thought she was super helpful and I was really bummed. I looked forward to our phone calls. I looked forward to, you know, just getting her knowledge and all of that. And more recently, YouTube changed when you could start monetizing your videos. In the past, it would be, you know, I think it was just anyone with a YouTube channel. You could apply to be in the YouTube partner program and monetize your videos, and they changed it to needing a certain amount of watch time and also a certain amount of subscribers, then you could start monetizing. I definitely get it. I can see it both ways. I was, you know, I didn't make a paycheck on YouTube for almost 3 years. So really, when you have such a low amount of views and lower subscribers, I mean, again, views is what matters here, but when you have a lower amount of views, you're not making money anyways. You know, you're making literal pennies off your video, and you have to have $100 in order to be able to get your check from YouTube a month. So it would just keep rolling over and rolling over and rolling over. And I mean, I think I was over a year into YouTube that I got my first check, and it was $100 and like 10 cents or something like that. It takes, you know, if you don't become a viral overnight sensation, it takes years to be able to make a paycheck. So at one point, I very much understood creators' frustrations of not being able to monetize their videos. On the other hand, I was like, I kind of get it, because really, you're probably not even making money anyways until you meet those marks. But again, I still just don't think, I just don't love the idea of taking something away from someone who's already had it. You know, let the people who have had it continue as they go, and for new people starting brand new channels, implement it. That's just my feeling, and I'm sure people will agree and disagree, but those are just kind of my thoughts there. And so, you know, there was a big uproar when that happened, and YouTube stayed firm on that. You did have to meet those requirements. And then I know that they've also, people were telling me that they've changed the ability to do a live chat. Now, not everybody can do a live chat on their YouTube channel. You have to have a certain amount of subscribers, I think it is. And again, it's kind of a bummer, because it's like, for me, I'm kind of in fear of YouTube right now, because what are they going to change next? Are you going to have 100,000 subscribers and 10 million hours of watch time in order to monetize your channel? I am making a paycheck now each month from YouTube. And while some months it's better than others, some months it's really not much, it still is a paycheck that I'm getting and that I count on. And what if they decide to take that away? I'm very fearful. So just seeing how YouTube can allow you to do something and work towards something and achieve it, but then take it away from you, as a creator, it does scare me. I don't know what YouTube's gonna do next. As I notice more and more these little changes that they're implementing, it just makes me curious of where the future is going to be. And you know, I'm someone who I'd love to encourage people to go for it and follow their passions and their dreams. And you know, I have people almost daily tell me, I really want to start a YouTube channel, but you know, I'm nervous about this, or I don't have equipment, or not sure, you know, do I have a big enough makeup collection? And I'm always the one that's like, just do it. You just got to do it. You just got to start trying and see if you love it. And almost more these days, I almost kind of don't want to tell you to start, because I feel like there's just such a huge mountain to climb just to get started on YouTube, which sucks. And again, if you have been thinking about doing it, I still really want to give you the advice of just going for it and seeing if you love it, and it could be an amazing thing. But it's such a different time starting on YouTube now than it was obviously like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, but even like 3 years ago. It's just a different vibe over here. It's just a different type of space, and I don't know, it's getting harder and harder for me to recommend people like, just do it, just do it. So I don't know, I just thought that I would share that. And again, I just would love to get feedback from other creators too, like, what are you feeling, what are your vibes in the space right now? If you're a newer creator, you know, how do you feel about it, and starting over here, I would love to know. I think what really kind of bums me out the most, versus like even thinking about myself and my channel and my subscribers and my views and all of that, I think what kind of bums me out the most about this situation is that YouTube gained popularity because regular people were coming to this platform and posting videos. Just regular old folks were coming on and they were uploading, you know, in the beauty space, they were uploading tutorials, they were sharing how to braid hair, they were trying on clothes. They, you know, people were showing how to make food and work out and humorous videos, but YouTube started as regular people uploading videos. And that was really how they gained a lot of their success. And when YouTube was first kind of coming around, you know, I've heard other people say this, that, you know, you almost kind of got judged for being a YouTuber or saying you did YouTube. I have been in the social media space myself for 10 years. 10 years ago, I started a blog. And for several years after starting a blog, there was definitely judgment there when people asked what I did, and I would mention that I also had a blog on the side. There was definite judgment, and I'd be like, oh, but I also work at a hospital, I just kind of do blogging on the side, like it's just a fun thing, it's just a hobby, because it was such a new space, such a new concept, people didn't really get it. And I feel like YouTube was kind of judged in the same way. But over time, as YouTube has gotten more and more popular, and some of the YouTubers have really started to gain fame outside of YouTube, it's like more and more people have come to YouTube, but also a lot of celebrities have come to YouTube. I mean, it's like a new celebrity every day is popping up on my home feed, because again, those videos are getting recommended to me a lot. You know, actresses and singers and reality stars. I mean, I think a bunch of the cast of Jersey Shore has YouTube channels. Obviously, like Kylie Jenner is over here. Jennifer Lopez has a channel. You know, sports teams have channels too. I watch the Chicago Cubs videos on YouTube because I love the Cubs, and it's kind of fun to be able to get that insight. And so YouTube is getting, I feel like YouTube is getting more and more and more popular because more of these really high profile people are coming to YouTube and making videos, and the audience is kind of following them here. And again, it just makes me wonder, with all of that, is there much of a chance for us regular people to continue to be seen and have some opportunities on YouTube? I understand when I see comments from people saying, you know, YouTube used to be a place where people were just really passionate about what they were talking about and they did it for the love of it. And YouTube can seem kind of different now, but I think it's because we have an influx of non-regular people just coming on to talk about their passions. YouTube is really seen as a business, and like I mentioned, with celebrities, with sports, just with businesses in general, they are creating YouTube channels. It's obviously been able to be seen that YouTube is a way to connect people in a platform that hasn't always been offered. You know, I can remember when celebrities started getting on social media too, and like Twitter, and tweeting out their actual thoughts, and people could connect with them and have conversations with them. That was a pretty big thing because we didn't always have that. And so I think YouTube is an even more way to make these celebrities appear more relatable to people, to get the inside glimpse of their world. You know, like I mentioned Vogue earlier, I think Vogue has their own YouTube channel, and they do these celebrity interviews that are very, very popular. So I understand where people are saying that it seems like, you know, YouTube has kind of shifted and become a different place, because really looking at it, stepping back and looking at it, and taking myself outside of just the beauty industry, I can see that too, and I can understand where people are coming from. So is YouTube going to continue to be a platform that kind of catered to people just wanting to share about their passions and have fun and make these videos for entertainment and for knowledge and for education? Or is it going to start really catering to being able to see behind the scenes of celebrities, of sports teams, and businesses will be able to utilize this platform, you know, for their own reasons? Again, I don't know, because I don't know where YouTube is going to go. I don't know that. But as I've been thinking about this more and more, it's just been something that's been kind of interesting to me, and I just wanted to share it and get your thoughts and see what a lot of you are thinking about it. And yeah, so I'm going to be really curious to read the comments for sure. I'm going to be curious to read viewers and creators alike and see what you guys are thinking. And yeah, so that's the main thing that I wanted to talk about. I haven't done my brows yet. You guys, I swear, brows, man, kill me every time. Okay. But also, what I wanted to say is that I have been a little bit sad because, especially since posting that video and being able to chat one-on-one with a lot of different creators and just kind of see what they're thinking and what they're feeling, I feel like there's a lot of unease right now for YouTube as a whole, and I feel like there's a lot of like unrest amongst beauty creators, you know. And I'm not going to mention anyone's name that I've talked to in DMs, but a lot of people kind of questioning, should they keep going? Is YouTube kind of you know, phasing out for some of these beauty videos? Like, they're just not really sure what to do. And I'm filming this on Thursday, and just this morning I saw that one of my friends, Angelica, posted a video, and in her thumbnail it said, "Is she quitting YouTube?" And her title it was something about why I'm cutting back on YouTube. I haven't watched it yet, but I have it flagged. I'm planning to watch it when I'm able to sit down and you know, really watch a bunch of videos and such. And I'm really curious to see what she'll have to say, because she's been mentioning it in a few of her videos, and I saw her say something on, you know, she put a tweet out saying that she's thinking about cutting back. You know, she mentioned in one of her videos that she's almost kind of lost her love for doing this, and she wants to get back to doing things that she does love. And I'm all for that, because you should be able to do things that make you happy. I'm a big believer in that. And if something that, you know, it can be something that once made you so happy isn't making you happy anymore, then you can change and you can move on and you can do something else. I mean, it even happens with people. You can love someone so much, or have a friend that you love so much, and then things change and maybe it's not the same anymore. It doesn't mean just because you love something at one time, you have to always love that thing or that person or whatever it may be, right? I wasn't sure if I was going to include it in this video, but since I'm still over here doing my brows, I think I will go ahead, and maybe it's a nice segue into it. But I've been feeling a little bit of unrest with YouTube myself, and like I said, I don't know what YouTube is going to change next, and if it could affect me, and if it could affect, you know, my paycheck. I mean, I work so hard on YouTube alone. I do a lot of different things, but I work incredibly hard at YouTube with my posting schedule, my uploading schedule, trying to be as active as I can in my comments and all of my DMs across all of my platforms, just planning videos and all of that. Like, I mean, don't even get me started on editing, because that takes me the longest for sure. But I put so much into it, and I feel like it could get taken away from me at any day. And it's hard, and it's something that you do know going into it is, you know, YouTube can just be gone tomorrow, right? The site can just go away. That can happen. It's one reason why I've never, even when I've noticed my blog taking a hit in traffic and blogging isn't as big as it once was, like in 2009 to 2012, blogging used to be such a huge thing. I mean, my blog would have thousands and thousands and thousands of hits a day of people reading my articles, and now it's like lucky to be in the hundreds. But I will still never get rid of my blog, and I will continue to renew my domain, because it is mine and no one can take that away from me. I own that. It is mine. Whereas YouTube is not mine. YouTube can go away tomorrow, Instagram can go away tomorrow, any of those things can go away tomorrow, but I own my blog, and I own the work that is on my blog. So that's one reason why I keep it around. But it definitely just has me feeling concerned with seeing all these different changes and seeing the different directions YouTube is going. I just don't know what it means as a creator, and it has me a little bit scared, because I'm not someone who has like a comfortable, I mean, just not to get too much into it, but I still do very much rely on my, you know, still small paychecks that I get every month from YouTube. I do rely on those. You know, I also publish books, and I have a few different like freelance jobs that I do too. But I do rely on it, and it just makes me a little bit worried. And so I'm always looking for ways to be able to do work that I'm very passionate about. I'm a creative person, even though you hear me say I'm not visually artistic and things like that, but I am a creative person. I love storytelling. I love writing my books. I've loved blogging for 10 years and writing articles and researching different things and giving book reviews and interviewing people. that, you know, do the same things that I do and I find them to be inspiring and I put them on my blogs. I've loved having a YouTube channel and being able to share stories this way and reach people and really have my channel go beyond beauty and to be able to touch on some of the harder topics that I've talked on. I've been thinking about starting something new for a while now. Even before I started to get really kind of spooked with everything going on. I've mentioned it in my live chat a couple of times if you guys ever catch me on lives, but I am really excited to announce that I am launching a podcast next week. Next Thursday, October 10th, my first episode is going live and I'm very excited about it. I have loved podcasts for quite some time now. And I even mentioned this in the first episode that it's really hard to have a conversation with me these days and not hear me say, well, I was listening to a podcast the other day and I feel like I just love them. I listen to a variety of podcasts from inspirational, motivational, chit chat, sports. I listen to my horoscope in a podcast every morning when I'm making my to-do list for the day. I love them. And I feel like hopefully podcasting is going to be a way to help get me back to one of my truest passions, which is storytelling and hopefully inspiring some people out there. So I'm so excited to start this. Like I said, it is launching next Thursday, the 10th. It'll be, you know, available on, you know, Spotify and iTunes and all of that. We're wrapping up the video and I know this is going to get really long and I really wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it, but then I figured it might be a nice segue and all of that and just kind of mention what I'm doing because I've been dropping hints here and there of like something's coming and I know a lot of people think it's going to be like a new collab and all of that, and it's not, but it is still a passion project for me and I'm so excited about it and I'm so excited to get your feedback. I'm really excited to bring on some guests. The podcast is called Start Inspired, and you know, the whole point of it is to get back to my roots, which is really inspiring other people. A lot of you know that I love the quote, aspire to inspire. I have a bunch of inspirational shirts that are available on Teespring. It really is my biggest passion of being able to reach other people through stories and you know, through motivating. And I'm not going to get upset and like cry because that would be like so weird and different for me. But I'm really excited to get back into that like wholeheartedly. I try to put it in here and there in YouTube videos, but I am a beauty channel here, so I try to really focus on that and only bring up certain situations from time to time. But this is going to be the place where I do it. This is going to be the platform where I can share those stories and hopefully reach some of you and inspire you and motivate you. And I'm just so excited for it. I'm excited to bring on some guests from just female entrepreneurs, YouTubers, authors, business owners. I have some really awesome people who inspire me that I look up to already planned for the podcast. I have a whole list of women that I want to reach out to see if they would come on to be able to share their wisdom and their stories and to hopefully, you know, get you inspired. And I'm just so excited about it because again, I feel like this is going to be a platform where I'm not silenced. I don't have to worry about what I'm saying in this podcast and is it going to still be available, you know, for listeners, or you just all of those different things that you kind of have to worry about with YouTube. Like, are you like PC enough to be approved by publishers on YouTube and all of that? And you know, hopefully it'll still be a pretty accessible place for people to be able to find the podcasts. I listen to mine off Spotify, just an app on my phone, and I just love them so much. And I know that there's just so many podcasts that inspire me, even the ones that aren't inspirational, that are more chatty or talk about sports. It's just fun. It's just fun for me to listen to in my car these days. I really don't even listen to music. I'm just always listening to a new podcast. I love finding new ones. And I mean, you guys have probably heard me talk about so much about podcasts that it just seemed like a really natural thing for me to look into and to research. It's taken a lot of time, and I know this video is getting so long, but I can definitely do a whole video about the podcast and everything like that too, if you guys would even be interested in hearing that. But it's taken a lot of time to research, and the equipment and the software and where you record and how you even edit it, just audio recordings. It's been a whole new thing to learn. I've cried so many times getting so frustrated with it, but it is almost here. It is launching next week, and I just can't wait to share it. I hope that you guys like it. Of course, the first few episodes are probably going to be a little bit on, like, maybe a little bit on the cringy side, just like my first YouTube videos were, my first blog posts and all of that. But I just want to jump in and get started and get back to my roots of just telling stories and hoping some of them reach some people, resonate with you, inspire you, and to bring on some pretty amazing guests to share their stories too. So that is what I'm working on. That is my news. I don't know if you'll find it super exciting. It's, you know, it's not a makeup collab, but you know, a lot of the apps to listen to podcasts are free. So it's not gonna cost you anything either. Another place that you'll be able to find me if you want to hang out with me once a week. I'm gonna post them every Thursday. I am probably going to take away another upload day. I'm probably going to stop posting on Thursdays, maybe after the first month or so of doing the podcast, but I am probably going to take away an upload day. So again, it is kind of my way of saying I'm cutting a little bit back on YouTube myself. You know, I don't upload Saturdays. Tuesday I did change to a live chat, so I still live chat with you every Tuesday. But Thursdays are going to be my podcast days every Thursday morning if you want to hang out with me for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, for just a weekly dose of inspiration and motivation. So I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. This is my final look for the day. I'm done. I'm finished with my makeup. It's a very fall vibe look here. I'll definitely have everything linked down below, but really do want to say thank you, because I wasn't really planning to talk about it in this video, so now I'm kind of like, what do I say? And if there's going to be questions, if you want to see a full video about the podcast and how it came about and just everything like that, just let me know and I can definitely work it into a video too. But I'm so excited, and I'm already having the best time working on it and talking with my guests and just learning new things. I'm always excited to see where the trends go, from blogging to YouTubing to podcasting. I'm just so excited to jump into a new journey. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I would love to know your thoughts down below of just the whole vibe of YouTube. What are you guys feeling? You know, pros and cons. I just would love to know so much. And yeah, maybe I will see you next Thursday on the Start Inspired podcast. But other than that, if you guys did enjoy this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you also consider subscribing before you go, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.